Hello everybody. It's been a while since I did one of these. Ignore that. Actually, don't ignore that. We got another video coming out with Duhan. I did that interview with him, but we're going to talk about his Sorry Summer EP. We're going to go through all 8 tracks and we're going to talk about it together. So look out for that coming probably later this week, I assume, or probably next week actually, because I messed up. Again, I'm sorry, Duhan. You know, the time zone differences messed me up and I ended up falling asleep before we could record again. So, but either way, we're going to talk about Tickets to My Downfall by Machine Gun Kelly. The Eminem-inspired genre switch that kind of pushed MGK to prove that he is a real musician. You know, he doesn't just rap; he's a musician. So, I'm totally kidding. It's not Eminem-inspired. It's just kind of funny how Eminem came out with Kill Shot, and then yeah, and then he switches to alternative pop punk. But you know what? It is cool. It's a good switch up for him. I don't mind it at all. Without further ado, let's just get into it. Track 1, title track. It's a good, simple, like, punk alternative sound, but, you know, the sad boy suicidal lyrics are just kind of, like, forced in a way. Like, he's forcing, like, his depression on you type of thing. Not really the biggest fan. 6.7. You know, before I keep going on, actually, I had a tough time with this one because the more and more I listened to it, the more and more I started to hear like what everyone else was saying with it's a lazier version of Blink 182 or a lazier version of Good Charlotte and stuff like that. But yeah, it kind of is. His voice isn't quite there, but there are a couple songs where he does great with this sound, and most of these songs get a decent score because it sounds all right. You know, the sound is good for the most part, but I guess the lyrics don't really match up. So, like I said, title track gets a 6.7. Not that great. I mean, okay, it's good, but when I compare it to all these other songs that I've been doing, you know, like I love like Taboo is gonna get awesome ratings. Victory Lap's gonna get awesome ratings. You know, you can't see it, but that's circles right there above, so that's gonna get an awesome rating too. Either way, um, the more and more I listen to this album, the kind of worse it gets, except for a couple songs, and I'll point out those couple songs. So Kiss Kiss is a fun, lighthearted sound, but it's got like heavy alcoholic images in it. I gave that one a 7. And another thing about this album is a lot of these songs don't really feel complete. I'll get into that again with a couple of the songs because, you know, they just feel more complete. So after Kiss Kiss, which I gave a 7, we go into Drunk Face, track 3. More substance and sad boy lyrics, but you know, it sounds a lot better than title track, from the sound to the lyrics, just overall. I gave Drunk Face a 7.3. We got Bloody Valentine. He does very well on this one. I like the sound of it. His talk, like when he's doing the verses, he's kind of more talking instead of singing, which I think fits him better because his voice is already kind of naturally like that punk sound. So if he's just talking to you, like I think it goes over very well, and then he kind of ramps it up and sings the chorus a little bit. So I gave Bloody Valentine a 7.2. Forget Me 2 featuring Halsey. Now this, when it first came out, certified banger. Absolutely loved it. Probably would have given it like an 8.5 if I would have done this like 6 months ago or something. But the more and more I listened to Forget Me 2, the more and more I realized that, you know, it is a good song still. The duo, we didn't realize we needed MGK and Halsey together. Halsey absolutely kills it and honestly kind of carries this track for MGK in my opinion. The more and more I listen to it, I don't like the guitar during the verses, if I'm being honest. Like the riff during the verses just doesn't sound right. It sounds like it's trying to mimic what they're saying or the tone of how they're saying things, and it doesn't quite do that, if that makes sense. I don't know how else to explain it, but that's the vibe I'm getting from it. And that's one thing that I keep saying. The more and more I listen to it, it's just things get worse, you know. But like I said, Halsey absolutely kills it. She sounds like Hayley Williams from Paramore. If you guys don't know, go find out because Paramore killed it back in the day. And I say that like it was so long. About a decade ago, Paramore was the coolest thing ever. Maybe a little over a decade ago now. Either way, like I said, the guitar riff is just it's weird. I'm not a huge fan. This song will probably get worse and worse the more I listen to it because of that guitar riff. But I gave it a 7.5 for this. It's a good song, you know. And if I didn't notice that guitar, it would have gotten a higher rating. Um, Track 6, All I Know, featuring Trippie Redd. Now this one kind of surprised me. I was thinking he was gonna go back to kind of a rap route for this one, given that it's two Ohio boys, like I was saying with Dark Nights or Rockstar Nights. I don't know, the song on Man on the Moon 3 with Trippie Redd. I'm not the biggest Trippie Redd fan, but you know what? He does really good on this song, and he kind of surprised me. He kind of brings a different layer to this song that is really needed. And, you know, honestly, from the two features that we have had so far on here, the features really bring the track up. You know, they add something to it. If it was just MGK on the tracks, they would not be as good as they are. So, track 6, All I Know, featuring Trippie Redd, I gave that a 7. It's a solid song. And like I said, Trippie surprises me in it. So then we go into track 7, Lonely, and let me tell you, if the whole album was similar to this, like this song actually has good lyrics, the tone fits perfectly for what he's saying in the song. It's about his dad passing and, you know, how lonely he is without him. He can be in a room full of people, but, you know, he misses his dad, which is going to happen. And he didn't really have the best relationship with his dad growing up, which is pretty well documented at this point. But, you know, it's this intimate person in your life is gone now, you know, like it's someone that you are going to be loving unconditionally and that should love you unconditionally, and it's got to be tough losing that person. Like I can't really speak on it too much because I've lost like grandparents and stuff like that, but like either way, Lonely, awesome song. Like I said, very well put together, best song on the album. And it's not even close. This song gets stuck in my head, and it's like I don't get upset that it's stuck in my head. Like I just vibe with it. Lonely, lonely, even when the room is full. Either way, I gave Lonely an 8.2. It's a really good song. But then we go into track 8, World War III, which why? I honestly feel like maybe I shouldn't have even gave this a rating. It's 1 minute of like why, you know. But it could have been really good. He could have gone deeper. He could have added maybe a couple verses to this, you know, because what he's saying in it is not that bad. It's just the instrumental accompaniment doesn't really fit me, you know. But I see where he's going. Like in his head, it's World War III, but you could have added a lot more to make this better. This could have been a good song, you know. So I'm disappointed on that front. I gave World War III a 4.8. It just doesn't hit. Track 9 is a skit with Pete Davidson. It's called Kevin and Barracuda, which is them just, if you were an alien, what would your name be? Roger. No, I want it to be Kevin. Like, why is this on the album? It's not even really that funny. If it was supposed to be a funny skit, I would understand, but it's just him and Pete babbling about nothingness, I guess. I don't know. But then it goes into Concert for Aliens. So we didn't rate the skit. We don't rate skits here. And then it goes into Concert for Aliens, which I really love the sound. The instrumental goes hard on this one. Like it's an awesome instrumental, and you know it kind of just amps up what this song is. I gave Concert for Aliens a 7.9. Then we go into track 11, My Ex's Best Friend, featuring Black Bear. And you know, Black Bear does well. I think Black Bear could feature on almost anything and he will make it better. Like he doesn't take anything away from songs. He usually adds a little bit of spice to it, you know, even if it isn't quite his sound, he does well to make sure he adds something to it. So I gotta give props to Black Bear on this one. He did a good job, and you know, this is another situation where the feature outshines the main artist, which kind of sucks. It's got a nice guitar riff in it. It's an easy, catchy chorus that you can easily pick up on. I gave My Ex's Best Friend an 8. We go into Jawbreaker, track 12, and the more and more I kind of think about this, the more and more I kind of wish each song had this type of beginning, because Jawbreaker starts off and like the guitar hasn't even started yet, and Machine Gun Kelly goes, now this one's called, and then the guitar starts, he's like, Jawbreaker, I like that because it's like Tickets to My Downfall, you know, that song kind of like set a tone like, hey, we're at a concert. We got tickets to watch this guy fall. And he's performing the concert now. Like that's the type of sound, you know, if you wanted to go conceptual with it, more conceptual with it or something, you know, I like what he did with this one. So I give Jawbreaker a 7.3. It's very catchy, very easy to listen to. Then we go into Nothing Inside featuring Ian Dior, and it's more sad boy stuff, but you know, Ian kills it, and I wish there was more Ian in it because I feel like with more Ian Dior, he could have made it better. I feel like his verse was super short. I feel like the song is kind of short, kind of incomplete in a way. Like I was saying earlier, and I forgot to mention it with Lonely. Lonely is like the most complete song on this album. Like it's probably one of the only fully complete songs. Like most of these songs sound like they were kind of rushed, sound like they weren't completely finished, sound like they could have had a little extra something to make them better. That could just be me, but I had that feeling with a lot of these songs the more and more I listened to them. Either way, Nothing Inside featuring Ian Dior. Like I was saying, I wish Ian would have had more time on it, but you know, with his contribution, it makes it better. So 7.7 on that one. Track 14, Banyan Tree. I don't know what that means, but that's a skit. It's just him and Megan Fox talking about how much they love each other and how beautiful they are together and all this stuff, kind of, in a way. Yeah, it's not getting a rating for that reason. But then we got the ending track, track 15, Play This When I'm Gone. It's alright. It's kind of slow. Yeah, that's all I really got for that one. It got a 6.7. So overall, all of this being said, the album gets a 7.18. Solid rating. Solid rating. So now it sounds fine on vinyl. So with that being said, another 7.18. Now, I'm going to just start. If it's a black disc, I'm not going to pull it out anymore. Black disc gets a 5 because that's boring. But have you seen this cover art before? Because I sure hadn't until I got this. So I think this is kind of cool. And and when we like spin it around to look at the back, his legs like follow with, and so does his hand down there. And when we open it up, we just got some pictures of him looking wild doing his thing. We got a little Travis Barker down here too, which is cool because Travis Barker is the executive producer on this album. So that is nice. There is a little message in here too that you might have missed if you're not looking too closely. There's a couple credits and all that stuff on here, but it also has a message from MGK that says, "I hope you make memories to these songs. Memories are our most powerful currency, and music is the soundtrack to creating them. I want to specifically thank Travis for believing in me over a decade ago and bringing me back full circle by opening his house and trusting the vision of creating a new era of pop punk. This album wasn't planned. It just ended up I just ended up at Travis's studio one night during a depression period and didn't leave for a month. The deeper I sunk, the more people wanted to watch, and I realized people weren't coming around to watch me fly, they came to watch me crash. But fuck that. I'll see you on the next ride. Thanks to every fan who is listening. Keep your feelings alive and your third eye open. Don't be afraid to be inspired. I love you all. Cole, EST for life." So, yeah, I mean, that's a positive message, you know. It's kind of nice when artists open up like that, and you know, MGK is an artist that's been open for his most of his career, you know, like, so that was nice to read. That gives it a little bonus being that it's an alternate cover and like all that nice little stuff in there, all the pictures, and then the little Travis Barker at the bottom is nice too. So I give the artwork an 8. So overall, all that being said, album is a 7.18, artwork is an 8, sound is the same as the album rating, disc is just black, so it gets a 5. So overall, we got a 6.84. Bam. Okay. So thank you guys so much for watching, man. I appreciate it. Smack that like button. It's easy for you and it helps me. Subscribe to see what vinyls we're gonna do next. I'm gonna spin this wheel, and I'll see you guys next time.